Hi everyone, this is Joshua Sprung with Lord Chase Games, and today I'll be talking about Sashimono. When it's your turn, the first thing you're going to do is decide what kind of turn you're going to have. There's two types of turns. One is the action turn, the other is the score turn. Both of them have different actions available. After either of those two turns, there's a end turn step where you're going to be drawing cards and playing Kumi into empty spaces. The first type of turn is an action turn. In this type of turn, you're going to be playing a Sashimono card. So I'm going to look at my hand and I'm going to choose one of these three cards in this case, and I'm going to assign this card to either a row or a column. Based on what's in that row or column, that unlocks the different abilities on my card. So the icon on the left indicates the requirements, and the text on the right indicates what action you can perform with those cards. For example, if I played Utani here, he has the first ability here, which is if I have one of each type in that line, and only the ones in that line that he's assigned to count for this. There's several different icons that appear on these cards. The first is the most basic, which is an icon that would match a face-up card in that line. In this case, this icon, if I place the Sashimono in this line, since I have a Nagai Gumi in that line, I can activate that effect. The other ability here shows face-down cards, and this one happens to show two. So if I place this Sashimono on a line that has two face-down cards, I can activate that effect as well. A couple other symbols. This one has like an infinity sign on it. That means as long as this Sashimono is face up and in play, that has an ongoing effect on the game. And the last one is this Gunbai fan. This is like a signal fan used in battle. To use this ability, I have to flip one of these three cards. I can either flip a face-up card face down and then apply the effect, or I can flip a face-down card face up and apply the effect. In addition to the actions listed on your Sashimono, this is shown on the reference card. All Sashimono have these three basic actions. For example, you can just assume that this is almost like an extension of your Sashimono. The three basic actions are 2 Teppagumi, and you can battle a column, 2 Nagai Gumi, and you can draw 2 cards, or 2 Kibatai, and you can battle a row. Next we'll talk about battle. Battle is a way for you to disrupt your opponent's plans. They might be trying to achieve a Sashimono that they have in play, and you'll need to undo that if you want to prevent them from scoring, or they're attacking you and you need to defend yourself. To battle, the first step you'll do is you'll choose a line. In this case, I could initiate a battle by playing Ogawa here, and since I have 2 Kibatai, I can choose to battle using the basic ability to battle a row. So I could choose any one of the 3 rows of my opponent's Sonai and attack it. The first step I'll do as the attacker is I may flip any hidden cards, any hidden Kumi. In this case, I might want to flip this to give myself an extra 1 attack. After that, I can ante cards from my hand. Doesn't matter which ones they are. I can add any number of cards to my hand face down to that attack. The defender then does the same, and whoever has the higher attack power will win. My total in this case would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attack against my opponent. If I win by 0 or 1, the attackers win ties, then the losing player will choose one of their Kumi in that line to be defeated. If I win by 2, then me, as the attacker, I get to choose which of their Kumi will leave play. at the end of the battle, the cards that were used to ante in, as well as the casualty, will be removed from play. And yes, if you attack someone and you lose the battle, you could lose a Kumi from your attack. Some actions, such as the Dojo ability, allow you to train a card in play. To do this, place the Sashimono in a line or column as usual, and then you may perform this action. In this case, it's a gun by fan, so we'll have to flip a card in order to perform it. And in this case, I would train a Kumi outside of this line, so I can choose any Kumi that's not in this line. To train that card, it must be face up, it can't be face down, and I can choose any Kumi card in hand that does not match it. For example, I could place a Kibatai on top of a Nagai Gumi. And for the rest of the game, or as long as this is in play, this is treated as both cards. This gives you an extra attack and defense bonus during battle, as well as it counts as both cards when it comes to achieving your scoring conditions. Another very important aspect to playing these cards is you can choose the order that you perform these actions, as long as you perform one action at a time. For example, if I place Ogawa here, I could initiate a battle since I have 2 Kibatai in this line. In this case, I could battle a row. After that battle, I could then flip a card to draw a card using this Genin action. And the second ability is Nawabari, which if I have a face down card, I can activate that effect as well. After playing your Sashimono and taking all the actions you may or wish to take, you then move on to the next step of the turn. This is where you get to draw a card. So you're going to draw 1 Kumi card, +1 for each empty space. In this case, I have 1 empty space, so I'm going to draw 1 additional card to my hand. After drawing cards, you may then look at your hand and choose any of your Kumi cards and place it face up in that empty space, or you may choose to play it face down. Another type of turn is a score turn. So instead of taking an action turn, you can choose to take a scoring turn. This is the turn where you can score your bowed Sashimono and put you 1 step closer towards victory. If you have 1 or more bowed Sashimono, at this point you can then score them. To do so, you're going to remove it from the game face up as an indication that you have 1 victory point towards victory. If you have enough to win, you're going to immediately win the game. You don't need to continue beyond that. For each Sashimono that you score, you're going to draw 1 new Sashimono card +1, and you're going to choose between those cards, in this case 2 because I only scored 1 Sashimono. I'm going to choose 1 to go to my hand and the other to go to the bottom of my deck. After scoring your Sashimono, next you will return Sashimono. This comes to a point of strategy where sometimes you'll want to leave Sashimono in play if you think that you're going to achieve their conditions on the next turn. But regardless of your reasons, you may return any number of them to your hand. In this case, I might want to return both to my hand so that I can then play them later. If you happen to have 3 Sashimono or all of your Sashimono in play and you have none in hand, then you must take a score turn. You'll then be presented with an option for choosing a bonus action. One is called a Bakufu, which is where you replace a Sashimono. To do this, you would draw a Sashimono to hand, and then choose any Sashimono in your hand or in play to then go back to the bottom of the deck. This lets you cycle through and get a different Sashimono. Another ability would be the Dojo ability, which allows you to train a Sashimono that's face up in play. Another option would be Genin, which is where you could take a card in play, flip it face down, and draw a Kumi card. And last but not least is the Gyorin ability, which allows you to rearrange one line. So let's say I want this line rearranged. I can do something like this. Just like the action turn, after you've done your score turn, you'll return to this the end turn step where you're going to draw one Kumi card, and plus you draw one extra one for each empty space, and then you may play Kumi cards either face up or face down in those empty spaces.